Good evening, everybody, and happy Friday night. I'm Jeanette Martin, brand ambassador for JD Farms, and it's Talking Turkey with me and another recipe that I've created out of my own home pantry, my freezer, and my incredible spice cabinet. So tonight's recipe is kind of an I can't talk. I'm so excited. I'm going to teach you guys how to make this recipe. Whenever I go out to the pub, especially on a Friday night, very safe distancing, I love ordering lettuce wraps. It's very light and it pairs really well with a nice dark beer. So that, you know what? Why don't I teach you how to make my version of a lettuce wrap? So I have prepped ahead of time. I use organic head of lettuce. So I washed it and cleaned it, and I've prepped my cups ahead of time. So this is going to make enough for three lettuce cups. So a serving for one person. And if you think about it, it's very filling because we've got a lot of lettuce here. So I've got that already prepped aside. And our cast of characters tonight, I am using 1/4 pound of the JD Farms ground mixed. So this has got the dark meat and the light meat, or the white meat in here. I like it. It's got a lot more flavor. So I'm going to get that into my pan. And I've got a teaspoon of a neutral oil, neutral vegetable oil. Let me just get my burner on here. Nice, and we'll go there. So I'm just going to get that into my pan. Nothing very exciting yet happening over here. So in that goes, it wants to come out of the package, out of here. So, okay, and in with that, I've got some vegetables that are very classically go into a lettuce wrap. So a little bit of carrots. I've got one small carrot peeled, and I'm going to cut this up in tiny little cubes. Let me turn that down actually. Go. Let me know if you have any questions while the recipe is going on. What's your plans this weekend? It's supposed to be beautiful here in Langley. Get out and get a little bit of a walk because we're in for some really rainy weather next week. I'm just cutting these up, and I'm going to say a centimeter, half a centimeter dice, because it's going to cook pretty quick. And we're going to get that in the pan as well with the turkey. I've got a small red onion, so you kind of see the size of my hand, just a nice little small red onion. Same kind of dice. If you've ever had the Asian lettuce wraps in a pub or a restaurant, everything's kind of a very, like, they're cubes. Like, for some reason, when you're eating the meat mixture, it's all these little tiny cubes that are inside, and they're all very consistent. So I'm just running my knife across. Of course, always watch my fingers. If you had a yellow onion, go for it. I just happen to have these little tiny red onions. That's going in there. The other day when I was out at Taves Market, they have, if you've never been out to Taves Market, and it's an apple barn, but they have this big bin of, you had a bag about this big, I kid you not, it was this big, and you could stuff as many as you wanted of these little peppers into it for $7. It was such a great deal. So I'm just going to cut these up. Hopefully, oh, can you guys see? I have to tilt the camera down a little bit. Cut these up and get them in there. Nice little rough chop. Again, everybody, little centimeter dice. Watching my fingers. That's good. Everybody in the pan over here. Got a small rib of celery. Give that a nice crunch. So this recipe is low carb. You can keep it keto. I'm actually putting a little bit of a noodle on top, but you could leave the noodle out and make this a totally low carb or a keto. Okay, so let's come over to the pan cam. Oops. My camera's being kind of goofy. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. So hopefully you can see the pan. I'm going to turn this up just a bit because now I'm watching it. And this is water chestnut, about, I'd say, 1/4 cup of finely diced water chestnut. Give a beautiful little crunch. And now I know I always share with you guys that to mash your garlic, but there's certain recipes I don't want a big chunk of garlic in. So I love using this garlic press. The skin comes out and I get a very, very fine garlic in there. The seasoning that I'm using in here is the Maddo seasoning that you can get at JD Farms. It's got Himalayan salt and cranberry powder and turmeric. It's about 1/2 teaspoon of that. Mixed around. And I've got a tablespoon of soy sauce. This just happens to be a spicy sriracha based soy sauce, and I had an escaping carrot there. Get this up here. Okay, and while this is cooking away, that'll start to cook down, and we're going to come over here because I have a secret ingredient to go into this. What's the Taves. Taves Apple Barn. It's out off of 8th, and I can't remember the other 8th and Clearbrook area, I think. So I love getting these big dried mushrooms. This is from Costco. They last a long time. They're a mixture. They have really good flavor. So I put them over hot water, reconstitute them so it's cold now. I'm going to just drain them off and cut them up and go inside. What the mushroom adds to it is something called, in the culinary world, called the umami flavor to it. It's kind of a flavor in there, and you're like, what the heck is that flavor? And it's this mushroom. And reconstitute it. Sometimes I'll keep the juice if I'm making a soup and put that in because it's got beautiful big mushroom flavor. It's a mixture of porcini mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, yellow button boletes, and oyster mushrooms. So I would say that was about 1/2 cup of mushroom in there. Go back over to the pan cam. Oops. Kind of see, oh, my heat is too hot now. Getting way too much color. I don't want to get too much color on this. But you want to cook it not a lot because you want to have that the vegetables still to be kind of crunchy. But everybody gets married in the flavor. And you know what, guys? This is probably the first time ever cooking for you that I've actually kind of got a little bit of an extra char going on. But that's okay. So that's good there. So this is basically done, this part. And we're going to make a spicy noodle to go on the top, because that's what I happen to have. Sometimes you'll get them and it's a very crunchy noodle. Well, this is going to be a nice soft noodle. Okay, so that's basically done over here. So let's come back over here. Oops, sorry about that, guys. So this is just some like little fine egg noodle. About 1/2 cup as well. I've got the JD Farms spicy, their hot sauce. So this is about 1/4 teaspoon. And classically, these are served with some hoisin. Well, I don't have any hoisin in my house, so I have a balsamic reduction, like the Nona Pia balsamic reduction. It's nice and sticky and sweet. So this is about 1 teaspoon of that. That's going in there. And just giving that just a little bit of a stir. Because that's going to be that pop of sweet heat to go on top of all these vegetables. Okay, so that's ready. And the last thing we need to do is get our garnish, which we always want when we're making an Asian dish. Cutting your green onions on that long diagonal. because it just looks nice. Doesn't affect the flavor, but it just looks nice. Okay, nice long. Okay, so as you can see, so just nice long little kind of, they're almost like a diamond shape on there. Okay, so that's ready. My meat mixture and vegetables. So let's bring back our lettuce cups. And let's start building our lettuce cups. Shut that off. See how like a quarter of a pound of meat goes a long way when you add all these great vegetables in there. Nice big flavors. Put everything in there. This is also a really good recipe when if you're cooking broccoli and you keep the stems. So I will peel back the stems and I'll put this in as well. So I'm just going to pop my camera just a smidge. So now we're going to add our Asian noodle on the top. I'm going to use my hands. That's spicy hot sauce noodle. Give my hand. Oh, you probably can hear me better now that my induction burner is turned off. Now we're going to put some of those green onions on top. Make it restaurant fancy. It's Friday night. We're at the pub at my house. You're at my kitchen, really. Okay. Then if you had some sesame seeds, you'd sprinkle a little bit of sesame seeds. But I happen to have a girlfriend that does epicure and she follows JD Farms. They do this Asian umami and it's got a mixture of nutritional yeast that has ginger, kelp, little dried green onion, some sesame seeds, and some nutritional yeast. So I just like to put that on the top. It's pretty. It's got dark and green, and there we go. And if you wanted to, you could add a little bit more hot sauce to there. But there you have it. JD Farms gourmet turkey pub style lettuce wraps made tonight, nice and fast. Let's see what the time is. It's only 13 minutes. So basically I had about 5 minutes of prep with my cutting my vegetables up before I came on to be able to make this beautiful meal for you. So like I said, if you left the noodle off it, I have used shredded cabbage, still with the JD Farms hot sauce and a little bit of the balsamic reduction, mixed it with the cabbage instead of using the noodles, and it's 100% low carb as well as keto and nice and friendly. So there you go. So nice, beautiful meal tonight. Hi, Rhonda. Oh, thank you, Darlene. Thank you, Carmela. Yes, I'm very blessed to have these recipes running around in my head in my relationship with JD Farms. They're a beautiful family, and I'd like to say thank you to them. Jack, Jason, Marilyn, Jennifer, all their amazing spouses, kids, grandkids, an incredible team that I think they're still recovering from Thanksgiving. So enjoy making this recipe for your family and your friends. Maybe make a couple of extra ones and pass them over to your neighbors. We want to remember to be kind, be calm, be safe, make great food for your family. And just to let you know, I will not be here next Thursday. I'm kind of taking a little extended vacation next week. I need to get inspired to make those warm, wintry, comfortable, stick to your ribs recipe because it's going to get cold out there. So enjoy your night, enjoy your Friday night, enjoy your weekend, make some incredible JD Farms products, recipes, and any questions if you're watching this on the replay about the recipe, throw it in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. Oh, thank you, Carmela. I will have a beautiful vacation. So enjoy your night, everybody. Bye-bye.